at 6:30 p.m. Joe? Patricia, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Daniels?
Here.
Trustee Burrows?
Here.
Trustee Griffith?
Here.
Trustee Boone?
Here.
Mayor Hobbs?
Present. Can we stand for the pledge of allegiance? Trustee Griffith. Can we stand for a moment of silence for the New York City police officer that died in the line of duty, and also those that lost their life in that tragic bridge collapse in Baltimore? Thank you. Okay, so if you would like to address the board, please fill out the forms in the back and turn in the form before we get to the end of our business portion. And when we open up for public participation, you have 3 minutes to ask the question or make a statement, and then we'll answer your question to the best of our ability.
Neurodiagnostic Week proclamation. Whereas neurodiagnostic technologies help to diagnose disorders of the brain, such as epilepsy, they also contribute to treatment by monitoring brain and peripheral nerves during surgery for scoliosis, brain tumors, and other orthopedic interventions. And whereas Neurodiagnostic Week is that time of the year when we honor and celebrate the contributions of neurodiagnostic professionals. It is celebrated annually during the third full week of April. And whereas Neurodiagnostic Week is designed to demonstrate pride in the profession and in individual accomplishment of the neurodiagnostic technologies throughout the nation, it is also an excellent opportunity to educate others, recruit new students into the profession, and to promote awareness in the community. Whereas Neurodiagnostic Week points out the many ways in which neurodiagnostic professionals work to ensure the health of all Americans through advocacy, education, and research. And whereas during Neurodiagnostic Week, hospitals, schools, and other institutions acknowledge their year-round efforts of neurodiagnostic technologies. In addition, many neurodiagnostics departments organize creative and innovative activities in their communities to educate and excite people of all ages about the profession by holding open houses, sponsoring special activities for the public and hospital staff, and performing community events. Whereas Neurodiagnostic Week offers technologists and educators the opportunity to join forces and focus on a specific message while promoting the profession in a way that individuals seldom can. Now, therefore, I, Waylon Hobbs Jr., Mayor of the Village of Hempstead, do hereby declare and celebrate Neurodiagnostic Week, April 14th to the 20th of 2024. Presentation of activities report by the public bodies of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead are available online for the public to review it. Clerk wishes to report that Mayor Hobbs and Deputy Mayor Daniels have approved miscellaneous business license as reviewed. Resolved that upon recommendation of Jacqueline Sword, Deputy Village Attorney, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the settlement of tax-related matter with Rec 12 LLC for the property known as 438-450 Fulton Avenue, Hempstead, New York, in a total of $11,000 for the tax years 2018-19 through 2023-24.
Move.
Trustee Daniels? Yes. Trustee Burrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Jacqueline Sword, Deputy Village Attorney, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the settlement of tax-related matter with 131 Stewart LLC for the property known as 131 Stewart Avenue, Hempstead, New York, in a total of $2,000 for the tax years 2013-14 through 2023-24.
Move. Second.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Burrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Yolanda Hutcherson, Superintendent Parks and Recreation, the Mayor and Board of Trustees hereby approves Landscape and Structures, Inc. proposal for the renovation of the playground at Kennedy Park Kennedy Memorial Park in the amount of $443,461.31.
Move. Second.
Trustee
I have a
Daniel?
question.
Oh,
Sure.
Did we get any other bids on this? Because I was actually just trying to see if I could find the paper attached in terms of the price and the breakdown for 400 and something thousand just to do the park. I'm all for doing the park, but did we get any other prices?
Of course, we would have to get more bids, so there were
That
three.
was off a state
Yeah.
contract, we didn't need bids. It was off an approved state contract.
Okay,
But there was submittal of other proposals, but we went with them for the state contract.
Correct.
Okay,
okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes,
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Joe Gill, Village Treasurer, the Board of Trustees were polled on March 20, 2024 to approve workers' compensation claims in a total amount of $15,950.70 to be paid by March 21st, 2024, to avoid a 20% penalty be ratified.
Move. Second.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Borrow?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
yes,
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Joe Gill, Village Treasurer, the Board of Trustees were polled on March 26, 2024, to approve workers' compensation claims in a total amount of $20,497.44 to be paid by March 27, 2024, to avoid a 20% penalty be ratified.
Move. Second.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
yes,
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Richard Holland, Police Chief, the mayor hereby appointed or approved the following to the position of Detective Lieutenant for the Incorporated Village of Hempstead: Stephanie Jones, designation, Police Detective Lieutenant, salary $206,268 upon approval.
Move. Second.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
yes,
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Frank Geminaro, Director of Public Works, the mayor hereby appointed or approved the following to the position of Sanitation Assistant Supervisor for the Incorporated Village of Hempstead: Eric Coleman, salary increase, DPW Sanitation, Sanitation Assistant Supervisor, grade 12, step 5 old, $80,835 a year upon approval.
Second.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
yes,
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Frank Geminaro, Director of Public Works, the mayor hereby appointed or approved the following to the position of Motor Equipment Operator, Trainee, for the Incorporated Village of Hempstead: Justin Estrella, part-time to full-time, DPW Streets, MEO Training, grade 107, or new, $58,272 a year upon approval.
Move. Second.
Who's second? Oh, okay, thank you. Trustee Borrow, Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Frank Geminaro, Director of Public Works, the mayor hereby appointed approve the following to the position of laborer part-time for the Incorporated Village of Hempstead: Shamar Patrick, new hire, DPW Sanitation, laborer part-time, $17 an hour upon approval.
Move. Second.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
yes,
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.
Resolved that upon recommendation of Joe Gill, Village Treasurer, all meeting bills audited by the Board of Trustees on check warrant dated April 1st, 2024, be approved as previously reviewed.
Move. Second.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Borrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes. All right, we've come to the end of our business portion. Once again, if you want to address the board, I'll give you an opportunity to bring up your forms. After this, we won't be taking any more forms. All right. Mrs. Smith?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Lisa Smith, 482 Front Street, Hempstead. I'm here again about 482 Front Street LLC. I have a question, well, I have several questions. My first question is, trustee Daniels, when I spoke with you, you told tenants needs to know what's going on. We're the ones that are being neglected. And for them to give you an estimate of what it's gonna cost, I don't understand why that's prejudice. What's relevant about it? What they should do is commit to us. And I asked you, could they make something in writing to commit that the fact that they were gonna do this work? And you told me that you didn't think they would make that commitment. And I don't understand why. Second of all, inspection. The fire marshal went out there from the village, and the super sent him pictures saying that the work was done. Thank you. And the work was done. He came out on the 13th and he said that on the 15th the work was going to be done. He sent him a picture showing that the work was done, but on the 15th an inspector came out and he said the work was unacceptable. So how do they make these kind of decisions? I don't understand. Who do they report to? I asked this question before. Who is their boss? Because when I go around there, it seems like everybody's sitting around doing nothing. But then when you ask them for a copy of the complaint, they can't find the complaint, and then they gotta go type up the complaint. I mean, come on now, we're taxpayers. We're paying these people salary to do a job, and the jobs don't seem to be getting done. And I'm kind of questioning now, who do they work for? Is they working for the tenants? Is they working for the landlord? I mean, we're not getting any answers. And like I said, the commitment should be to us, not to you giving you an estimate or whatever it might have been. They should have made a commitment to the tenants. They should have wrote a letter to the tenants to let the tenants know what's going on. We have no correspondence with this landlord. He treats us like we're second-class citizens, like we don't exist. He don't owe us no answer. And I think it's wrong. And I think that this here board, this trustee, and the mayor, you need to do something about it.
Okay. So, Trustee Daniels, you want to answer our first question?
I mean, I can't force the man to write, the man or the entity to write a letter to anyone. I saw the estimate, and they were saying they're gonna get someone out there to work on the building. They have redacted a lot of the information, like the cost and stuff, off of the sheet that they had. It doesn't prove that they were engaged to come out and do the work. But I can't force him or her to write a letter to you or the tenant. I'm sure if they move forward with the work, they will let the tenants know ahead of time so people can move out the way as they get closer to that date that comes. Other than that, we have not stopped our court case with them. The court case is ongoing. This is them trying to move forward beat the court date. The first court date came on February 28th. On the 28th, they were not there, so the case got adjourned. Once the case got adjourned, it went back to the law department, and the law department had to deliver actual service, meaning they had to hand it to an individual. But in the interim, the individual came forward. I wasn't there to serve them. I saw the redacted paper. I called you because you and the other young lady because you have been active participants in coming and telling us that there's an issue there. So I called you out of respect for you to let you know that we did have some motion moving finally after all these weeks in the way of an estimate from them with no numbers on it, but saying to us in 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks, they're gonna have someone out there to do the work. I did that because you're always here. That's the only reason you even know that. And now you're here
Okay.
like I did something wrong. I don't understand.
Excuse
I was
me.
always trying to be
I hear
helpful.
you. I hear what you're saying.
That's all
but-
I was trying to do.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying to you is, how do you have an estimate with no numbers?
Because I can only get what they give me. I'm not the
But you're
court.
saying that they sent you an estimate, excuse me, I'm not trying to argue with you. All I'm trying to get some clarification.
Okay.
Now, you're saying that they said, you saw, how did you see this estimate? And you said that you saw it, but it was no numbers
Correct.
with the estimate. How you give an estimate with no numbers?
Because the estimate wasn't given to me, the estimate was given to them. And it's not for them to share with me how much it's going to cost them to fix the roof.
But how did that come about when we're complaining about the roof and all of a sudden you getting this here estimate? I don't understand.
That communication came because Joe Simone from the building department, who you've been in contact with and critical of, has been hammering the landlord to move forward on the issues that you have brought to us while the case is still pending in the court system. It's the village being proactive to try to cure the issue. That's all this is, and the information I'm giving you, again, is because you are being proactive, and we wanted to keep you in the loop, in the communication.
But Joe Simone, you told me that you didn't think Joe Simone could give me something in writing saying that it was a commitment.
That's a fact. I'm not debating that. That's
So
what I
how
told
is
you.
Joe Simone helping us if we can't get a commitment?
Well,
if he
we
can't-
don't want Joe Simone to sit there and do nothing, do we? We want Joe Simone to be
Well,
proactively
we don't
moving.
talk about Joe Simone about doing nothing, because when you call to Joe Simone, a lot of times you can't even get Joe Simone to even return a phone call or talk to him. So that's another subject in another day.
Okay.
So, you know, Joe Simone is not always doing Joe Simone's job.
Well, Joe Simone was doing his job here, and
Well, he's not doing it for the tenants, and that's where the
I can
problem
only
is.
give you, I don't wanna argue with you either.
Okay.
But I want you to vent, and we want you to get to the point where you are happy, and that's all we've
Well,
been
I'm
trying
not
to do.
happy. I'm very
And we're gonna
unhappy
keep
right now.
trying, and every week, every other week, you could come and browbeat us, and we're not gonna stop
Now,
trying for you guys.
Excuse me. I don't like the word that you use, browbeat us, because I'm not trying to browbeat you. I'm trying to get some understanding so we can have some peace in our building, so we can feel safe, okay? So that's a bad terminology, browbeat us, okay?
Well, it's browbeating, let me rephrase it, it's browbeating when only thing that you got from now publicly saying it is the same thing that I talk to you and say to you when you call me. So for you to now come up in front of everybody and act like we're not moving, while every time we get some progress, I call you to let you know. That's all I'm saying. So it is feeling like you're browbeating me. It's like you're not trusting me to move forward and doing the things that I'm actually doing. Because
Okay.
I'm working for you.
Okay, but listen, since you said trusting, I do have a little trust issue with you, because you said that you were good friends with the landlord's wife, okay? So if you're good friends with the landlord's wife, that to me is like a red flag, because now it makes me wonder if you are in favor of the tenants, or is that your friend? Okay, I'm just saying.
That's fair, that's fair.
Just
And
saying.
that's fair if you wanted to be negative about it. And just so you know, I've never, or will I ever, mix the two. The only reason I know them is another part of my life. I have nothing to do with their business. My business is your business, because I'm always trying to represent you. So I've never approached them, so I was surprised, because I know them in a different frame. I don't know them through the frame of the way they are being a landlord right now. I know them in a different space. Just like you know your friends one way, and then you know another set of friends another way. But as far as my interaction with them has been zero, and my interaction in this matter has always been to fight for you.
Okay, Jeff, and I understand that, but you know, that was something you should have kept to yourself, really.
Well, so, all right, so moving on, Joe Simone is the supervisor of the building department. And superintendent of the building department, that's who's in charge of the building inspectors, all right? And you already made it clear that you said you don't feel that he's doing the job, but that's the supervisor. I met with him, we sat down, we saw the court dates, we saw the summons, we saw all that. So, you know, within the scope of what he's supposed to do, they've issued summons, they have a court date, so he's done that, all
Let
right?
me ask you one question, and then I'm gonna take my seat. Is fire inspection supposed to be done every year on any buildings in the village, like apartment buildings, commercial? Is an inspection supposed to be done every year, annually?
Well, to be honest with you, I can't give you that answer now, because I don't know the code. I have to look at the code, I can't tell you, I don't know. All right, but I will look and find out, but I don't have the answer offhand.
Okay, because they gave me a report for 8/22, and if it's done annually every year, then what happened to the report for
Okay,
8/23?
so let me look into that and I'll get back to you, because I don't know that answer offhand, all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Catherine Gary.
Good evening. I have questions in regard to two contracts that were to be signed by the mayor in the fall of 2021. These contracts were both related to the Martin Luther King Park Lake complex. The first one is the contribution pledge agreement. And this agreement, in the whereas clause, states, whereas the Village of Hempstead is planning certain improvements in the vicinity of 295 South Franklin Street and Martin Luther King Drive to create a youth learning and community center. And the contributor is desirous of making a contribution to the village to assist in the funding of said improvements by contributing $1 million to the village pursuant to the terms of this contribution pledge commitment. Now, the contributor is Jaffe, Mr. Jaffe, who's the owner of the Martin Luther King Project, right? And he made a commitment to contribute $1 million. And apparently, according to this whereas clause, to assist the village to create a youth learning and community center there at the complex or nearby. The second agreement that he signed is a village service agreement whereby he signed to pay the village $3.7 million over a 25-year period. And that $3.7 million is in addition to his pilot tax break, which also goes for 25 years. Now, at the September 7th, 2020 Village Board meeting, the mayor was authorized by a resolution of the board to sign this agreement, the contribution pledge agreement, as well as the village service agreement. And the village service agreement says he's supposed to donate $3.7 million over 25 years. I want to know if the mayor actually signed these two agreements that Jaffe has signed. I have a copy of the agreement signed by Jaffe, and it doesn't have a signature of the mayor. So I want to know, did the mayor, in fact, sign each of these agreements? And I want to know if Jaffe paid the $1 million, and if he also paid the installments on the second agreement, which he was, doing each year. He had to pay a certain amount. So those are the questions. Did you sign those contracts?
So I can't sit here and tell you exactly. I sign contracts all the time. You have to do a FOIL request, go through the village attorney, because I can't tell you. I sign contracts every day. I can't tell you exactly sitting here. I can't give you that answer sitting here.
Yes, but I think you're pretty familiar with the Jaffe situation.
No, Ms. Gary, every single day I sign contracts, whether it's for street repair, whether it's for equipment. I cannot tell you, I'm not going to sit here and say yes or no. If you
Okay.
check with the legal department, you
Okay.
could get that information.
I have already foiled these contracts.
Okay.
But I'm here tonight just to let you know that I want to see the contract, and I wanted to know if you recall signing these contracts. They're very important contracts, and I just wanted to clarify the issue by being here in person, and I hope that I will receive the signed contracts.
Okay. I got you. I definitely understand what you're saying, but again, I cannot sit here and tell you exactly what contract I signed, okay? Bradley Hinton. Bradley Hinton.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm kind of concerned about the residents of Hempstead. They're gonna spend $2.5 billion, would it be, to do all the Hempstead, right? These apartment buildings, right? Now you're acting like a knucklehead.
All right, so first of all, sir,
Now you act
That's-
like you don't know what I'm talking about.
You
know
get-
pretty well $2.5 billion for the.
all right,
building Hempstead.
he gotta go, because I'm not gonna tolerate it. You gotta go. You get
It's a
three,
shame.
you get
It's a
three,
shame what
you
you're
get
doing
3 minutes
to
to
the
ask the
village.
question. I was giving
It's
you
a
your
shame what
time.
you're doing
He
to
gotta
the
go.
village.
I'm not dealing
It's
with
a
this.
shame. It's a shame.
You gotta go. Have a nice day.
All of you up there, it's a shame.
Lamont Johnson.
Residents,
Oh, no, we're not gonna do
Yeah.
this. Oh, wait, 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 wait.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Trustee Boone, Trustee Griffin,
Good evening.
Trustee
Good evening.
Burrows.
Good evening.
Very quickly, I'm gonna make somewhat of a statement. And it's about what I believe to be double standards that goes on. You know, everyone here has been employed at one time or another, and I believe from the people that I know here, whatever job you do, you have done it well. You showed up for the job, and you were there for your job, whatever the job was. The people I believe that for everyone that's sitting on that dais, for that to be true. So my question to the Mayor and Board of Trustees is how many DPW supervisors are employed by the village? That's one of my questions. My second question is, I've been told over the years, I really didn't look into it too much, I didn't investigate it, but I've been told that one of the DPW supervisors is what you call, has a no-show job. That means the person does not show up to a job, the person does not supervise anyone, but that person has been getting paid over 6 figures for several years. I'm a taxpayer, I'm a long-time resident of Hempstead, and I believe in equity, I believe in equality, also believe in reciprocity, and I believe that the taxpayers, and many of them are in the audience, that if the taxpayers, so we're paying somebody, a supervisor, to do a job, that supervisor should be doing the job. So I'm asking that the appropriate persons be spoken to, or that the attorney, the village attorney, or the human resource persons make sure that everyone is putting in, I don't know how you guys check to see what person actually comes to work, but it's a pretty well-known secret that one of the supervisors is not working. So I'm asking the mayor and the Incorporated Village of Hempstead, like I said, this has been going on some time. I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying that you're responsible for it, but for what I understand, it's been going on for several administrations, and it needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. And one other thing I wanted to say is that the police department is doing a very good job. I wanted to say that. But I do think some opportunities was missed in the past few years to appoint female chiefs. We had at least two females that met the qualifications to become chief of the department. And I think those great opportunities was missed by not appointing or hiring the 2 females that could have been chief of the police department.
So as far as the total number of supervisors through the village, you're saying, or just
The DPW.
DPW?
supervisors.
All right, I will get back to you on that, because I don't have that number off the top of my head. But I will say that, you know, you also sat as a trustee on this board. You was a trustee. So when it was time for appointing chiefs, you was a trustee on this board. Those recommendations for those females, as a trustee on the board, you could have advocated then for that. For the no-show job, you was a trustee on the board. You said through quite a few administrations. You was a trustee during an administration, and I've never heard this come up about the no-show job of a supervisor.
Mr. Mayor.
So I'm telling you, I've never heard you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, as a taxpayer, I'm not saying this is not about, and I preface it by saying, I say you're not to blame. Let me finish, please.
Go ahead.
Because we let other people speak 10 to 15 minutes the last time, I counted the time, so.
I'm glad you could
I
count.
no,
Listen,
no,
just
I
go
just
ahead.
want to respond, please.
Uh-huh.
I'm not here to go back and forth, and I'm not here to try to blame anyone. I'm just saying that it has come to my attention, if I heard over the past, and I didn't really investigate it in regards, the police department thing, I'm not speaking about that. The DPW issue is the reason why I'm standing here, the supervisor. And it's come to my attention, I've heard, like I said, I heard rumors before, but it's a not well-kept secret that it's a person that has a no-show job. Okay, that's what I'm here to address, and as a taxpayer, and like I said, if you was working, if you was a supervisor, they would make sure you was there every day. If Noah Burrows was a supervisor, they would make sure he was working every day. If Jeffrey Daniels was a supervisor, they would make sure he was there. If Clariona Griffith was a supervisor, people would make sure she was there. The same with Kevin Boone. That's all I'm saying.
I got what you're
Okay,
saying.
so in regards to the police chiefs that were hired, I agree with the police chiefs that were hired. I supported Richard Holland to be hired. I supported Paul Johnson to be hired. So since you want to speak about the police chiefs, and you want to make that an issue and say what I did.
I'm not making it an issue. I'm making a statement.
If we want to speak about the police chiefs, we could go to the point that the village, when people become chiefs, they have payouts. We have Cogan that left, you had to have a considerable payout for him. You had Patrick Cook, you had to have a considerable payout for him. And that cost the taxpayers several dollars.
Right, so, but I wasn't mayor when Patrick Cook.
But it's not about who's
Listen,
mayor.
Lamont, I'm Trustee Johnson.
It's not about who's mayor.
I'm making a statement, and I will not retract from the statement that I made, a fact that you was also on this board. So you did not deal with any of those issues when you were on the board, and that's a fact. So I'm gonna make that statement.
I actually said to the mayor prior to you, I said something about nothing was done about it.
Well, listen,
But
we could do more than say.
I'm saying something about it now.
I got you, and we appreciate
I
it.
didn't blame you, because I know if it's something good, you take credit for it, and if something, it had nothing to do with you, I don't want you to have to take credit for it. I didn't blame you.
I didn't say you blame me,
But I
but
have the right as a taxpayer.
you do, you do, but let's be, if we're gonna be transparent and clear, let's be completely clear.
No, we are completely clear, and I told you I was gonna bring this issue up, so it's nothing that I didn't say to you, so it's not like I'm bringing something up that I didn't say.
All right, I got you.
Excuse me, can I make
got
a
you.
statement, please?
You asking me or to? or-
Well, Trustee Lamont, I would like to, okay, great, I'd just like to make a statement. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. I am over the DPW, however, I'm not the employer of the village, but however, I do agree that if somebody is supposed to be working and getting paid, they should not be getting paid under taxpayers' dollars, not at all. So if this is something that's happening, we do have a punch clock. So that's something we can go back and check and make the correction that's needed. It doesn't matter which, board it happened under. It's just the fact that now we're aware of it, we need to do something about it. We're not supposed to, say who did what. Let's just take care of it. If someone is not working and they're not doing their job and they're getting paid under tax dollars, let's handle it, because it's not fair. I can't go to work and get paid for something I'm not doing, so nobody else should neither. Not on my dime, not on the taxpayer dime. So I clearly understand that, and I agree with you 100%, and I thank you so much for bringing that to our attention, because I will send an email and reach out to find out what's going on too. Thank you.
And I just wanted to say, Trustee Johnson is 100% right, and also with the supervisors, about 5, no more than 6, but 5 of the supervisors down there in DPW.
Thank you so much.
No
All
problem.
right, that is all that we have. Can I get a motion to close?
Oh, before we close, I have one more thing I wanted to bring to your attention, Mayor. I got several phone calls from 260. I'm not sure if you've been getting the phone calls about a mice infestation. I'm not sure of what's going on, but there's a lot of seniors that's calling me about the fact that 260 is infested with mice. So I just want to know if it's possible that we could look into it, see what could be done, because they're also being told that they have to buy stuff themselves now to be able to take care of this, and a exterminator is not coming out. I got multiple phone calls over this weekend about it, and I don't think our seniors should be living like this, because I would not want my own parents to live in someplace that's infested with mice. So
Thank
I
you.
want to bring that to your attention.
Have you,
I could tell
given-
you-
excuse
sorry,
me.
Ms.
Have you given that information to the building department?
I have not. I just
Okay.
now got the information. Like I said, over the weekend, I got multiple phone calls.
Okay.
So today's the board meeting, so I figure I'll let you know of what's going on.
I appreciate it. I just wanted to know if you notified the building department, or if you got in contact with the Hempstead Housing Authority?
Well, I met with the Hempstead Housing Authority. I'm still waiting for her to send me an email for something I requested.
Okay.
But however, I will bring it to the building department, and I'll attach you on the email. But I wanted this board to be aware of what's happening over there.
Thank you, trustee
And
Burrows.
400 Fulton is dealing with,
I'm sorry, wait 1 second, trustee Burrows.
Yes, I have spoken with the Housing Authority superintendent, and there has been exterminators coming on a monthly basis. There is no one asking for any residents to pay for any traps or whatever it is that they spoke of. So
That
I
you're
don't-
aware of.
There is, if that's being said, it's not being said by anybody on the Housing Authority board.
Okay.
If it's being said, it's being said by someone else. I could tell you certainly, and I've been there in the past 2 weeks. I've also spoken to Ms. Goodson earlier today, and there are some things that I am working on specifically with the Housing Authority to try and remedy the situation for any infestation. As far as I know, there hasn't been any large showings of any rodents, so, you know, it could be possibly somebody who's giving you false information or.
It's not
No, it's
somebody,
not
it's
false
several
information.
All right,
residents.
listen, one at a time, one at a time.
I'm sorry, it's several residents that have reached out to me about it, so I just want to make sure that I bring that to the board attention. So it's not one person, it's several people that have reached out to me, and I also have emails to back up what it is that they're saying to me. So I just want you to be aware of it.
Thank you, trustee Boone.
and I've also seen it myself, so it's not hearsay. I've seen it. I've also seen the rats in the parking lot of 400 Fulton, so that's not hearsay.
That's not a Housing Authority building.
But I know it's not. But like I said, you know, something still needs to be done with the rat problem. There's a problem over there about the train station. People are tired.
That's not,
So-
that's not a
But like I said, 260 Clinton
Listen.
is not hearsay. I've seen it
All right, I
myself.
have a question. So did you bring that to the attention of the building department?
Yes, I did.
And the housing authority?
Yes,
All
I
right,
did.
Thank you. All right, can we get a motion to close?
motion.
Second?
Second.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Burrows?
Yes.
Trustee Griffith?
Yes.
Trustee Boone?
Yes.
Mayor Hobbs?
Yes.